Battlebit Remastered just updated one of their most underused classes of weapons, the DMR, and in this video we're going to be taking you through all of the changes that happened. We're also going to be taking you into the firing range to see how these weapons perform. Now, I know they released this update yesterday, but unfortunately I was in the hospital, so I could not record the video, but better late than never, so let's get right into it. Getting into the meat and potatoes of this update to the DMRs. So the MK20 was a mediocre DMR with a low bullet velocity and a lot of recoil and decent damage. Now, they buffed the damage from 45 to 47, but the changes only make it kill one bullet faster to heavy armor. Other than that, it's the same to all the other armors. So the light armor was 3 and it's now 3, normal was 3, it's now 3, heavy was 4, it's now 3, Exo was 4, and it was now 4. Now, the significant update here is the vertical recoil being reduced by over 50% and the horizontal recoil being increased slightly. I think that the vertical recoil reduction is going to make the fire rate of this thing a lot better. You're going to be able to be a little more accurate at range, and you're going to be able to fire a little bit faster. Speaking of accuracy, the bullet velocity was buffed by 300 from 800 to 1100. This is going to help greatly at range. It's going to feel more hit scan, especially from 200-300 meters in. It's going to feel a lot more hit scan, and you're not going to have to bleed it as much. Now, the ADS time and run speed buffs are kind of negligible. You see that they're by very small values. You see the reload speed was reduced from 3.2 to 3.76 seconds, and the starting mag size was reduced from 3 to 2. I don't like that change because, honestly speaking, the DMR was already an underused class of weapons. It already had little ammo, and now you're basically reducing that. I don't get that change. I get the reload speed buff or nerf is an attempt to limit aggressive DMR gameplay, but I just don't like that starting mag size reduction or the reload speed nerf. When the class is already underused as it is, I think it could just use a straight up buff. So the M110 is one of the more interesting ones. The M110 and the MK14 EBR are the two most interesting buffs in this update. So the M110, you look at the damage buff and you're like, oh, it's above 50 now. But it doesn't really do much in terms of the TTK, except for against no armor targets. The old was 3 bullets and it's now 2 for no armor targets. You'll recall that if you put the heavy barrel on the scene before the long barrel, you could 2-tap to the limbs of targets. Now you don't need to do that. So this is actually a little bit more of a significant change because you could shoot to the arms and the legs and 2-tap targets with the M110 now. And then obviously it kills 3 bullets to light, 3 bullets for normal, 3 bullets for heavy, and 4 for Exo still. Now the vertical recoil cut in half from 3 to 1.5. That is significant. And the horizontal recoil was more than doubled though. So I don't really get that change. Why would you cut the vertical recoil in half and then double the horizontal? It just seems like they just did it to say they did it. And it's kind of going to limit the usability of this thing. The bullet velo increased to 1,000. That's good. Again, it's going to be more viable at range. Fire rate was reduced. Not going to be much of a factor because you're not spamming this thing anyway. What is the control stat? Let me know in the comments. I don't really know what that is. So let me know, especially the weight factor. Reload speed was nerfed to almost 4 seconds. Don't like that. Starting mag size reduced from 3 to 1. Man. Yikes. Yikes. That's all I have to say is a big yikes. Alright, so the MK14 EBR. The EBR is an automatic DMR, and it's the most spammy one in the game, but it had a lot of recoil, which limited its range. And you'll see now, the vertical recoil was reduced from 2.2 to 1.3. That is significant. And as you saw with the MK20, the M110, usually when they reduce the vertical recoil accompanies a significant increase in horizontal recoil. But that is not the case with the EBR. They only increased the horizontal recoil by 0.2. But they did increase that first shot kick by 0.5. So basically with this scene, after you control that first shot, it's going to feel pretty good. But until that point comes, it's going to feel a little rough. So the bullet velo was increased from 700 to 900. The control was increased. And again, I don't know what that stat means. And the ADS time was reduced, but it was reduced negligibly, and the starting mag size, again, reduced. Don't know why they're doing that. The SVD, the damage was nerfed from 42 to 41, and it actually makes the kill a 1 bullet slower to normal armor targets. And they reduced the vertical recoil and reduced the horizontal recoil, so they did make it a lot more controllable. We'll test it in the firing range here. The velocity was increased from 740 to 950. The control was increased. Again, I don't know what that means. The reload speed was nerfed to 4.21. That is very, very, very bad. That's a lot of reload time. And the starting max size was reduced from 3 to 2. Okay, so now we've gone through all the changes. We're going to get into the firing range and we're going to show you these things in action. Oh my god, the change is actually significant. It's a lot more accurate, a lot more controllable at range. I feel like I can click, 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 right? I feel like I don't have to go click, click, click. It's like click, click, click. It's a little bit, you can fire the scene a lot faster. It's hit scan. Like I'm aiming right at the target. Okay, so the accuracy is really good on these things now. Is it gonna make me use the DMRs? Not really, I'm gonna be honest. The DMRs still feel like a situational weapon on like a walkie or a longer range map that you can sit back. It doesn't feel like you can use them on every map in the game, but we'll see once we get to the EBR. Let's see the M110. I'm gonna build all these the same. This one is the one I was interested in because you can 2-tap to the limbs. Like, let's see if I shoot the arm. Wait, what? If you shoot the arm, you notice you can 2-tap. So that's interesting with the M110 now. It's kind of pretty strong. Yeah. Let's test it at range here. Now the M110, you can definitely feel the horizontal recoil increase though. So I don't really know why they reduced the vertical recoil, because the horizontal recoil makes it so you can't spam it. So like they should just kept the recoil the same for this scene, because it doesn't honestly do a whole lot if you're just gonna double the horizontal to reduce the vertical. So the EBR is the one I'm most interested in because it looks like it got the most buffs without getting a lot of nerfs besides the starting mags. So I thought that you'd be able to spam this thing heavily from range, like 200 meters plus with the recoil reduction, but look, it still has a lot of shake like that. So you're not going to be able to spam it that well. But because of the fire rate and because it's automatic, I feel like this is the most aggressive DMR in the game. So from like 100 meters in, I feel like you can play pretty decently aggressive with this thing and do all right. But I definitely say that the control isn't as good as I thought it would be. I thought it'd be a lot easier to control than it is. So it kind of feels like something you still have to tap fire at that range. Like if I want to hit that target out there, I forget it's hit scan now. Like you gotta kind of tap fire it. So I don't know how viable the EBR is going to be, but if you're an aggressive DMR player, it feels like it'll be all right. So, but for now, the one I'm most impressed with is the M110 for now. That's the one that I'm most impressed with. The SVD again, it got nerfed kind of heavily. All right, so the SVD, let's test this thing. This one feels almost better than the EBR for spammability, if I'm gonna be honest, but it doesn't have that fire rate and it has the slow reload, so that negates it being able to be used as an aggressive DMR. But it's definitely one you can kind of just like tap and poke people at range with. That's interesting. So the SVD, the MK14 EBR, and the M110, I would say, are the most viable ones. The M110 being probably the most viable right now for damage, and the EBR being the most viable for aggressive gameplay. And then the SVD is probably your next option. I don't think the MK20 is that viable still, so I wouldn't really use that. Over the next few days, I'm going to try to get some clips with these things and post some videos, but I was in the hospital yesterday, so I was unaware the update even went live. That's my bad. So I'm kind of just like catching up here. So I'll try to get some clips with these things today and post some videos on them, okay? Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if the nerfs and buffs were enough to make you use the DMR class. Let me know if you're a person who used the DMR class before, if you like these changes or don't like them. Let me know your thoughts overall on the update. Let me know what you think they should do for their next update in the comments. I'm interested to hear from you. I do stream every single day, almost on kick.com/cjam. So if you want, go check me out there. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.